I guess on my hair, she look all right. And with that actually sitting there like this creams, and I had to have them, sis. All 5 of them. Here, I just had, we're gonna discontinue it, but I had to pick up their book of shadows, honey. Color grade makes cheap fan, expensive breeze, good times. Wow, so serious. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Torrence here, and in today's video I am playing with some items that I was so blessed to receive. I am telling you all, I already had part 1. If you all want to see that tutorial, make sure you check that out right here. I did that the other day, and I was sitting back when part 2 launched, and all I kept saying is yes, I want it, but I could not afford it. But a very good friend of mine, Janessa J, sent these items over to me, and when I tell you all, I was in complete shock because she let me know that she was going to be sending the palette, which we have right here, which is absolutely beautiful on the outside. Like, get into that packaging, honey. I was so shocked to see that this was coming. The inside, we have 30 beautiful shades. Look at that there, honey. But not only did I receive the palette, she surprised me with 2 other items. First, she sent me a set of lashes, which I'm wearing right now. You all know I hardly ever wear lashes. I think I have around 200 videos on YouTube, and less than a handful of them have lashes on them. But because she gave me these, baby, you can't tell me nothing about them. I'm gonna be whispering and flapping all day, honey. Like, how you doing? Hey, hi. Had to put them on. And last but not least, and certainly not least, because you know lips are my favorite part of the body, she sent me the Golden Dreams lip set. This set contains a lip liner, bam, a lipstick, boom, and my favorite, baby, a lip gloss. I'm telling you, this collection is absolutely stunning. I was so blessed to receive it, but you all know it's all about the quality of the products. Just because you pretty on the outside, just because, you know, I like influencer collabs and all that, and just because this was a gift, does not mean I'm gonna let any of that cloud my decision when I tell you all, is it worth your money? Should you go out and get it? Do you need to add this to your collection, honey? I'm gonna tell y'all all of that in the end. But before we get to all of that, I need you all to make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are so close to hitting that 1,000 subscriber mark, honey. But before we go any further, I want to make sure y'all give this video a thumbs up if you all like eyeshadow tutorials and you want to see more like it. If you want to see any other type of videos, such as, well, we can't do new hauls, but we could probably do collection videos because we on the no buy. We can also do other tutorials like foundations and things. And that's what I wanted to ask you all before we get started. Sephora just dropped their, I think it's called the Best Skin Ever Concealer. It's brand new, and I have a gift card. If you all want to see a tutorial on that, let me know, because I have to head to the mall tomorrow and I can use that gift card to pick up that concealer if you want to see it. We're getting off subject, but we're about to go ahead and get to this. But before we do, got to bring you all swatches. So let's go ahead and get into it. Before I showed you all the palette, I wanted to show you all the packaging. Look at how stunning this box is. I thought the original was beautiful, but considering green is my favorite eyeshadow color, this box is even prettier. But wait until you see the palette inside. Honey, tell me Mikayla and Glamlite did not do their things. It is very reflective, so there's no way to show you without getting a glare from the ring light. But baby, look at this. And watch, when you tilt this back, those sparkles come down. There isn't any liquid or anything, so you don't have to worry about this damaging your product. I'm trying my hardest not to give you all a glare with the ring light, but it is impossible. I just wanted to make sure you see how multifaceted this packaging is. She is stunning. And honey, when I tell you, nothing could prepare me for the shadows on the inside. Once again, green is my favorite. You have blacks, you have purples, and although blues aren't my favorites, I don't mind blues when they're with greens. So to see, we have mattes and metallics, and it does not appear to have any glitter shadows in here. But we got a matte black on the very end, which excites me. So I cannot wait to get into the swatches of this palette. Okay, you guys, here we have it. Swatches for the first 10 shades. This palette does contain 30 beautiful shadows, so I decided to do 3 rows of 10. There appears to be 16 metallics and 14 mattes. Generally in an eyeshadow palette, I prefer the mattes because I have hooded eyes. But in my opinion, Glamlite has a much more beautiful shimmer formula, so I don't mind when the shimmers outnumber the mattes. And you can see here from the first 10, we have 9 metallics, 1 matte. But we're going to see how things get going. Just by the swatches alone, it appears the metallics do swatch better than the mattes, but it's all about performance on the eyes. So next up, we have shades 11 through 20 coming. And honey, if you had any idea of why I was so interested in this palette, these 10 right here. Greens are my absolute favorites. The depth and dimension they have in here, transition, crease shades, lid shades, warm and cool tone greens, honey. Ain't no way I wasn't gonna get up on it. I truly couldn't afford it, so I'm grateful it was gifted to me. But this many greens in a palette always gets me excited, and no matter how beautiful that third row is, because I have a bias towards greens, this is easily gonna be the most beautiful to me. But enough of me gushing about greens. Let's go ahead and get into shades 21 through 30. Now look at this, honey. The last 10 are absolutely stunning. But considering the fact I'm not the biggest fan of blues, it don't compete with that second row to me. But to know we have matte and metallics, and on that very end they call that shade Blackest Black. Ain't no way in the world you can name a shade Blackest Black and think I'm not gonna test it out. So for me, everything appears to swatch beautifully. I cannot wait to get into this. But before we do, I want to give you a close-up of the lashes as well as the lip set. This here is a set of lashes. This is in the style Daydreamer. They appear to be a natural wispy set, which is my favorite type. I wanted to show you all what the packaging looks like before I opened it. It does appear that they are vegan and cruelty-free, which many people will find helpful. In here, you have a close-up view of what the lashes look like inside the container. These are very wispy and very light, my absolute favorites. I love them because they accentuate the shape of the eyes instead of taking over any eye look. So I know I'm going to enjoy these even though I'm not the biggest fan of lashes. And last but certainly not least, we have a lip set. Lips are my favorite part of the body, so I'm excited to try this. I do believe I already have tried Glamlite's formula for their glosses, but I've never tried their bullet lipsticks or their liners, so this is going to be a first time experience for me. This here is a close-up of the bullet lipstick, and when I tell you, this component is beautiful. It has a gold tip on both sides, and what you do is you take and you press one side down, the component comes out, and inside we have our lipstick, and look at her, honey. She is a nice, beautiful neutral shade. She's probably a little darker than something I would traditionally buy for myself, but she is stunning and I cannot wait to test her out. Next up is the component for the gloss, and she is stunning. It appears to be a shimmery yellow gold gloss. I've never opened it, so I have no clue, but this ombre packaging that starts opaque at the top, clear at the bottom is beautiful. Gonna go ahead and open her up just to see. And this is a close-up of what the doe foot looks like. Comes to a nice point so you can get precision application across the lips. And this here is the lip liner. The pencil itself has a green coating on it, but the cap and the tip appear to be green. And I am hoping, because this looks like the type that you have to sharpen, I really prefer lip liners that have to be sharpened instead of twist up, because I feel as if you get a longer shelf life on those. And there we go, baby. That it is for me. I'm not 100% sure if this shade will be dark enough on my lips. I am a person of color and usually I like a very dark lip liner, but we'll still test it out just to see if she works. And I wanted to make sure I gave you all close-up swatches of the lipstick, the lip gloss, and the lip pencil. You have to please excuse that black mark there. That are from swatches from the eyeshadow. As you can see, many of those are pigmented. But I wanted to make sure you all can see that everything went on beautifully. They appeared smooth and creamy. And I am truly excited to see what these formulas feel like on the lips. But enough talking, honey. Let's go ahead and get into this tutorial. Alright you guys, let's get into things. As with all tutorials, all tools and products used will be in the description bar below. So if you want to know about anything that I forget to mention, just check out there. But baby, we got to get into this palette because I'm telling you, part 1 was absolutely stunning. If you have not seen my tutorial on part 1, I'll make sure I leave that link right here above so you can check that out before coming back and watching this one. But today, ain't no point in lying. I got to get in here and see how some of these greens are doing. Just looking at it, color story alone, this is already prettier to me than part 1. But it's all about that performance, honey. So, ain't no point of wasting no more time talking. Let's get into this. I'm sitting back like, I know I need a transition shade, honey. And the lightest one is this one here, 13. But really, this shade here, bro, is calling my name, honey. What I think we're going to go ahead and do is skip bro because I think she's going to be a little too dark for this look that I want to do. We're going to go ahead and go into this lighter shade here, 13. I ain't going to lie. Bro is what's calling my name, but we want to start things off beautifully. So we're going to start off with shade right here, 13. Well, technically it's shade... Oh, it is. It's shade 13 and name 13. Okay, come through. Where's my mirror? Oh, y'all know you got to have your little mirror when you're doing YouTube tutorials, honey. And she is dusty, which I don't mind, but she picks up just fine. We're going to dust off all excess because we can come back in for more later. And we're just going to see what she builds up like. Start from the outer end, and we're going to take this all the way throughout our crease as a transition shade. Let's see. Okay. And she's definitely showing up. I believe she's showing up better on camera than she is on person. And I'm looking at this like, baby, something telling me I should have just went ahead with that shade, bro, because she's darker. We're going to go ahead and do one more layer of this just to see how much opacity we could get. But I ain't going to lie, that little pastel light green, she's not doing it for me. Just because personally, I'm not a big fan of pastels. So I'm just sitting here wishing like Torrence, she should have went with that darker color. But, baby, you see how she built up on that second layer though. Okay, she shut me up real fast. She's like, honey, you ain't even give me a chance to blend me out, buff me on, none of that. Just, okay. No point of lying. That second layer just came through for the girl. She just saved her. So we're going to go ahead, just dust this off. And baby, I should have came and did this tutorial for y'all earlier, but my sister came through and we had a good time. So, it is late in the afternoon, but I'm going to still get this tutorial up for y'all. I just want to make sure I buff this out right here. And I am liking that now. No lie, that first layer had me questioning it, but I'll be back after I do this on the other side. Alright you guys, we have our transition shade on. Now it's time to head for our crease. I already know exactly what shade I want. I've been looking at it since I first opened this palette. This shade here, Beauty Kills, dark grungy green. I love those kind of shades in my crease, especially for a green look, honey. There was no way I was going to miss it. So I'm going to take that with a slightly smaller blending brush. This one here is the Redford 15, and we're going to take this throughout our entire crease. There was no way I could do a first impressions and not see how beautiful this shade applies. Pigmented, honey. Let me tap that off because we can always come back for more. Start on the outer end, and we're going to take this throughout our entire crease. We want to start as low as possible in the crease, honey, and then build and work our way up. Yes, ma'am. I can see that color coming through already. We are definitely going to have to do a second layer of this, but honey, these shades of green here are getting me excited. I want to just buff this up and out first, just to show you all what that first layer looks like, because there's no doubt in my mind. You can see there's depth and dimension. You can see there's depth and dimension, but that ain't dark enough for my crease, honey. I got to build that up. Gonna see if we can just pick up the hiccup in the pan and not get more. And we're gonna just slightly tap that one off this time because I'm comfortable with the build on this shadow. I honestly wish it was a little more pigmented, but we're gonna see what it's like on the second layer. Okay, she's building, she's blending. But I must admit, she's not giving me everything she did like Shade 13 did. This one I honestly am debating on going in and doing a third layer, because this one here is like, hold on sis. Let me see what this third layer is gonna give. Okay, it appears that's all we gonna get, honey. And I must admit, I was hoping just for a little bit more. So what I think we may do is go in and build this up with one more green. She's coming through, she's pigmented, she's smooth, she's blendable. I just personally wish she gave me a little bit more. It could be because I have her on such a light transition shade. But we just gonna keep this going. Because I don't see any patchiness or anything. I just wish she came up a little bit darker. But enough dragging on this shade. Let's go ahead and finish this up. Alright, now that we've blended our crease out, I must admit, giving it a few seconds to go ahead and set has given it a little more pigmentation, and it looks a lot better now than it did when I blended it on. But we're going to keep on moving here because I still just want a little more depth and dimension in my crease. So because we're playing around with the greens, I figured why not? Let's go ahead, go in a little bit deeper and get this shade here. This is called the Commons. This is the darkest green in this palette. I'm going to use my smallest blending brush. This is the Redford 14, and we're going to use this even lower in the crease to get even more depth and dimension. Once again, we're going to tap off all excess because we can always come back for more. And I'm hoping that because this is the darkest green, it puts more depth and dimension on top of any other green that's here. So we're going to start on the outer end and bring this all the way through and see what we get. And on this first layer, I'm waiting to see I can see this in person, but I'm not sure if that's given on camera. So what we're going to do is go in with one more layer, and I'm not going to tap my brush off this time. I'm going to have it packed on, and I want to go in from the outer end and work really slow to see how that color is going to build up on there. I'm going to start with my brush extremely low in the crease, and once I'm comfortable that there's not much product left, I can raise my brush slightly just to diffuse those edges. Take that all the way from the front to the back. And let's see. I think for me, technically, yeah, I can see something there, but it's like to know I picked up a whole nother brush and a whole nother color. I honestly would have wished that would have came off just a little bit darker. So what we're going to do is just take this, pick that color up on one side, and just sweep that back on the entire outer V. Just going to press it down, sweep it back, and that way we can ombre out our outer V with another color. But I want to try to get full opacity, and you can see she builds and blends extremely easily because this is a fluffy blending brush. So hopefully after I finish this other side, this side has come off a little bit darker, but so far, yeah, I don't think that third shade would have been necessary to get more depth for this look. Be right back. And as you guys can see, this green is big, it's bold, it's over the top. But because I just love a deep dark look, I have to take this even further. Just because I want to see how much depth and dimension we're going to get, I have to test out this shade Blackest Black here. Darkest shade in the palette. I'm going to take that same Redford number 14 on our smallest blending brush. And this time I want to take it and just buff it out on the outer V here. I don't want to take it to the inner half because I want to be able to see what that color looks like compared to the outer end to the inner half. And right now I'm just taking my brush, rubbing off the excess product. I forgot to bring a microfiber cloth. I just don't want to risk reducing the pigmentation of my black shade when I go in with that. And we're going to take this with the smallest amount. Actually, what am I playing? We're going to dip that bad boy. We're going to cover her, and then we're just going to knock off as much as we possibly can because we can always come back in for more. Start on the outer lowest point and buff that up. Okay, yeah, looks like that black coming through, and I just want to take this up to the halfway point. No further than that. Oh yeah, I can see that. And for this to be a tiny, tiny amount of black, trying my hardest not to buff up past the halfway point. I still have my brush as low in the crease as I can get it. And then I'm just going to slightly raise it to diffuse those edges. Didn't even use much or a big brush, but baby, I can tell this side is darker than the other side. So I'll be right back after we do this on the other side. Because honey, that's what I was looking for, depth and dimension. Let's hurry up and get this done. And before we get through with this black, I dip my brush one more time. Gonna tap off that excess, and we're gonna just take this and sweep this out on the outer half of our outer V. I just want to deepen this up, and I want that very tip, this very corner point, to be completely black, not dark green. So we can pack this on here and sweep it forward, but we don't want to cover up all that green. Just like that, you can see we got bare lid, green, black. And I'm gonna put just a little bit more on that black to make sure she don't fade. And I'll be right back after I do this on the other side. Now it's time for us to cut our crease. NYX glitter adhesive, Morphe M421 brush. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I want to make sure I cut the front half, but I don't want to cover up my outer V work. Normally, I would go ahead and do my lids first, then the outer V. But because we're working with black, honey, I don't want to risk coming back in later on with a darker color. And I done picked up too much product, sis. So let's get this going. And I definitely want to cut high, so let's get that. Bam. And remember to try to leave some of that green peeking out. And just because we're being extra today, why not bring this in front of the eye, screw it. And I think we got it, sis. I'll be right back after I do this on the other side. Baby, let me tell you, I'm not sure if my eyes are even or not, but I just had to get up and go check, because while I was doing my cut crease, I realized, like, wait, Torrence, do you smell smoke? Had to get up and go check, because I'm like, I don't recall cooking nothing. I don't have no candles burning or nothing. One of my neighbors are grilling tonight. All I knew is I smell smoke, and I could not risk being in here doing makeup while the house could possibly be on fire. But we're going to get on back into it, honey. On the lids, we got a variety of colors we could pick from, honey. We got a variety. But ain't no point of lying. It's two shades that instantly caught my eye the moment I opened this palette. The first one, insane. That dark grungy green, she looking beautiful to me, baby. She looking beautiful to me. The other one is going to be, where is she? The Market. The Market, she got a black base to her. She looked like she could either be a dual chrome or a multi-chrome. I'm not sure, but we're going to take Insane on the front half of our lids. We're going to put the Market on the outer half of our lids, and we'll be right back. Honey, Insane is insanely beautiful, at least on the brush. I cannot wait to get this on the eye because it picked up so beautifully. We're going to take this and just try to pack this on the front half. I just always have to remind myself, Torrence, we need to leave space for the next shade. Because I be getting greedy with it. And we have to remember we cut our crease in front of the lid. So we want to pack that on there too. And so far, we're just packing this on. She is coming off beautifully. You all can see the shine and the color on that. I have not foiled my brush or anything, and this is one layer. And it looks like she's giving me full opacity. I'm not seeing anything, so I don't even think we have to double that up. So even better, let's hop on over to the other side. Yes, honey, look at her, when I tell you, I can wear shades like this green any and every day of the week with matte greens, with matte neutrals, with matte blacks. It does not matter. But this shade here, the Market, I done picked her up, and you can see she even looks black on the brush because I'm guessing she has a black base. All I'm praying for is for it to be fully opaque and go on, and that flip be as beautiful in the pan and be just that beautiful on my eyes. So let's go ahead, honey. Let's see, y'all. Come on, pray with me. Gonna pack it down. Ooh. Ooh, and I'm gonna blend it up toward the front because that first green Insane has taken up a lot of real estate. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit more and use that to buff and blend those two together because I am not a fan of a harsh line on the lid. Baby, look at that. She is pretty. Y'all see that color? And you see the way she just fades into that front color, like, yes, ma'am. She is truly a dark green. The thing is, once she's on the eye, I'm not seeing the flip the way I wanted to, but I ain't never mad at a metallic dark green. Oh yes, honey, she beautiful. And you can see how it fades from that light to the dark green to the black almost seamlessly, honey. So I'll be right back after I do this on the other side. Alright, you guys, as you can see, we've put on a lot of eyeshadow, honey. Things are really dark, really green, exactly how I like them, but there's only so much you can do right now. So what I'm gonna do is cut away, finish off the face, and when I come back, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna finish off the lower lash line and the lips. Alright, you guys, we are back, and it is time to go ahead and finish off the face. Before we get to that, I wanna show you all the things that I used off camera. If you looked at my previous video, most of the items that I have on the face are the exact same things. There's very few items that I switched up, but one of these items today, this setting powder, I have to test that out again because off camera, baby, I did receive some bad news over the phone. So I did get a little teary-eyed for a moment, but I'm like, considering the fact that I baked, I used a foundation and concealer that I'm very comfortable and, you know, use all the time. So I'm like, there's no reason this should have happened. I'm like, what's going on? My under eyes started to crease like never before. It was like, okay, I understand that some things may happen throughout the day, but I'm like, Torrence, you haven't even got back on camera. What is going on? I ended up having to go back in and put more concealer on top of baking powder and reset everything because I'm like, no, we have a video to get through. So I'm not sure if it's because I started tearing up. I'm not sure if it's because it's late at night and I usually do my makeup early in the morning, but we will test this powder out again. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. I use two different shades here. And the first thing I want to say is they really need to extend the shade range because I believe there are only 4 shades. I'm using shade 20, light medium, as a baking powder in my highlighted areas. To me, she looked like she's yellow, but to me, she came off a little neutral on the skin. Medium deep is shade 30, which is what I used around the perimeter of my face. I believe they only have 1 shade lighter, 1 shade darker. And I'm like, if I'm using the middle 2 shades, you can only be so much lighter than me before you don't have a powder and so much darker than me before you don't as well. So Maybelline, I really wish I would extend y'all's shade range because I use the concealers all the time. The foundation was my #1 used foundation on clients when I did freelance work. But this powder here, she's definitely matte. Like, she looks good everywhere else, but directly underneath the eye, baby, I'm not sure if that was me or this powder, but we're gonna come back again because I wanna see if you all can see. It's creasing here, which I normally expect a little bit because I have some lines here for texture. But like right here, baby, you can see where it just completely came off. I tried to put that back on. I'm like, Torrence, we can only do so much before we got to give it up. So I'm like, okay, let it go. Other than that, everything else was what we're used to wearing except this here. This is the first time used for blush. This is the MAC Mineralized Blush in the shade Lovejoy. I knew I had never used this because when I opened it up, it still had that plastic protective cover on it. Just a basic neutral shade. I usually do like bright over the top pink or coral blushes. So I'm like, Torrence, you don't have anything neutral like this in your collection. I don't even believe I have too many blushes in the mineralized blush formula. So I'm like, Torrence, go ahead, grab it. And she's nice. She looks like a natural, beautiful, you know, tone. The only thing I wish is that this compact was a little bit larger, because for my blush brush, she really like just takes over this here. Like, you see that? It's not much room, but I finally get to use it. But the formula is absolutely beautiful. So whenever we get our funds back up, I won't mind grabbing a couple more colors in this formula. Also for MAC, for highlighter, my holy grail. This is Old Darling in the Extra Dimension Skin Finish formula. Considering the fact I was going in with the powder, I didn't know exactly how that was going to be. I'm like, Torrence, you need a glow you can count on. This is just naturally beautiful to me, whether you want to be soft and gentle with it. They even have a color called Soft and Gentle, but not in this formula. Or you want to take it to that beaming level, you can do either or. But I'm like, Torrence, we want these eyes to stay here. We also put on our Daydreamer lashes from Glamlite. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I don't like lashes. They take too much time and energy. For me, I'm the type of person who likes to put mascara on and be out the door. And it's crazy because I have an enormous lash collection. It's just, I like it when other people put them on. To me, they are beautiful. I'm like, oh yes. And for this to be a nice natural wispy pair, you can see how they still grab your attention from across the room, honey. So I'm loving them. They're nice, they're lightweight, you can barely tell that they're on. The only reason I can personally tell is because I keep looking at the my reflection here, and it purposely has me looking up to see if I can see them. Other than that, they wouldn't bother me. Last, we have for eyeliner, the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in Psychedelic Sister. My favorite purple eyeliner, and I did that because at first I was gonna put a green on, but I'm like, Torrence, don't be boring today. Don't just take and do green on top, do green on the bottom. Do something a little extra. So since I have this purple eyeliner on the bottom, we're gonna go ahead and start smoking out our lower lash line with purple shades. And I'm pulling my palette back up like, okay, Torrence, which purples we gonna get into? We got to figure this out. And it's like, baby, I want some depth, I want some dimension, I want to see how things are gonna be. So we're gonna start things off with a lighter shade. And because I know I want a little bit of drama, honey, I'm gonna skip right past Mama Wang and we're gonna go to Pat Rice right here. I'm gonna see what she looked like because I need something that's gonna compete with these dark greens here. So we're gonna grab our largest pencil brush, the Redford 26, and we're gonna buff this out across the entire lower lash line. And we're gonna make sure we tap this off because we don't wanna risk getting too much color on. We're gonna start this on the outer end and buff toward the center. And this purple here, she looks beautiful on the brush. I really could have went in with that lighter shade, but I want something that is going to stand up and out on my tan skin. And this color is coming through beautifully. I am getting some kick up, so you want to be careful with that and dust off your brush, honey. Because I'm comfortable now, I don't mind going in from the front, put a second layer. Okay, and she is definitely pretty. I think you all will be able to see that on camera. Oh yeah, for sure. But I must admit, for this to be a purple and not the lightest purple, I was hoping to get a little more pigmentation, but we'll be right back after I do this on the other side. Yes, ma'am, that's what I'm talking about, baby. That purple is popping. At first, I could see the eyeliner in person, but I wasn't sure y'all was gonna see that on camera. With that purple smoke coming through, I know y'all can see it now. And I'm sitting back like, Torrence, should we do it? I think so. Because I need this purple on the lower lash line to really come through, I'm gonna go ahead and jump to this darkest purple. This one here is called Authenticity. We're gonna skip this one here because I just really have to see how deep and dark this can get on the lower lash line. So I'm gonna take me a slightly smaller pencil brush, my Redford 03, and we're gonna build that up there. I wanna, ooh baby, she is coming off pigmented. Tap her off, because we can always come back in for more. And because this color is even darker, we want to work even slower, starting from the outer end and buff up. Oh yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, yes, yes. That's everything I was looking for in the dark purple. Oh, yeah. No need to do 2 layers of that. You could see how much darker this side is compared to that side, baby. Let me hurry up and do this on the other side because I'm excited now. And sis, I am over the top and extra with my eyeshadow. I understand this was the lower lash line, but I'm like, since we here, why not, honey? Go ahead and give me everything. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and grab us a purple shade. I am really liking the way this shade, oh my God, look. So I'm gonna take this shade with a push liner brush and I'm gonna put that on the lower lash line in the very center. I don't wanna put that across the entire lash line because we risk getting fallout, but I do want there to be a beam right there just to see how much this color shines. Honey, you might wanna be extra careful with this shade. I took and pressed a little too hard and created a nice little dent in my shade, which was my fault. But I have my brush here. This is the Redford 29. We're gonna take this on the lower lash line and I wanna put that right there in the very center and just press. Not sure if you all are gonna see that on camera, but I just basically want this to create a nice little sparkle in the very center. I don't want to take it out to either edge. And I wish you all could see the difference that it's making right here. I really don't think it's going to show up on camera, but I love doing this trick right here. It just brings that extra little sparkle and that extra little glow for the details in person. But I truly don't think you all are going to be able to appreciate what I did just there. So of course we got to do something else and be extra with it. Okay, you guys, so now it is time to do our highlighting and I want to make sure I am over the top with those. For the inner corner to help accentuate the purple, we're gonna go up to this shade here, Poppin'. We're gonna use that there. And to accentuate the green here underneath the brows, we're gonna come up to the lightest green shade here, Dreams, and we're gonna put that there. I want to do the inner corner first since that shade is a little bit lighter, just so it doesn't bring an extra green tone to the lower lash line. Poppin'. Picked up extremely well, honey. I have a ton of product here. So what we're gonna do is just get this going in the corner. Let's see what she's working with. Ooh. Baby. I know y'all see that and ain't no point in lying. On the eye, it looks like she's accentuating the green a little bit more. But we're not mad at it. We're just gonna go ahead and roll with it. Gonna clean my brush off on the back of my hand. Then we're gonna go straight into the shade Dreams here. And baby, she picked up beautifully as well. I want to go in very slowly, hit the arch first because that's where I want the strongest amount of color and shine. Baby, that's coming off real green. Can y'all see that there? Let me go ahead and buff that out and show y'all. Not sure if the green flip is going to show for you all. Oh yeah, there she goes. I got a patch of it right there that I need to buff out. I only want to buff toward the front the tiniest bit. The rest I want to bring back because I want the highest amount of color and shine right here. Oh yes. Oh, now that green really showing through, honey. Get into it, yeah. Let me go ahead and do this on the other side, honey. All right, honey, I'm looking at everything like, is there anything else to do? Completely forgot about our lips, honey. We gotta use our lip set. We go ahead and pull this out because I'm looking like, eyes is done, time to spray everything. No, ma'am. I'm not sure why I put this in the packaging, but let me get everything back out. This is, once again, the Golden Dreams lip set. None of the products individually have names, so I'm guessing it's the Golden Dreams lip liner, lip gloss, and liquid lipstick. Not liquid lipstick, bullet lipstick. So what I want to do first is just take my liner. We're gonna line our lips. Even though I do believe the lipstick color is a little bit darker, I still like to use a lip liner just to give me a little precision on where to place my lipstick and a little longevity. And for me personally, lip liners tend to also keep my lipsticks from bleeding so much. So we're just gonna go ahead and put this on and see what color we get. Yeah, honey, y'all can see that I only did the top lip on this side, and you see how it looked like my lip line just disappeared. And that is because this lip liner is actually lighter than my lip color, but we're gonna try to make it work. So I'll just be right back after I finish doing everything. All right, you guys, we have lip liner on, and I must admit, the feeling of it is beautiful. It glides, it blends, it builds, everything seems nice except the color itself. This color on my skin tone is absolutely no good, so the only reason I would ever use that liner again is to fill in my lips, not to actually line them. But we're gonna go ahead, see what this lipstick looks like. And when I swatched this, the formula felt absolutely beautiful. So what we're gonna try to do is get our lips filled in. I'm just gonna see what this looks like on one side, just so you can see the color compared to the liner. And let's see. Oh, it looks like on the lips, the liner is darn near a match. Okay, you see on this side? Let me see, let me just fill in the top lip. Yeah, the lipstick is absolutely beautiful. The liner is doing everything it's supposed to by keeping the lipstick in place and keeping it from going outside the lines. And even though my lips are dry right now, this formula feels nice. It's not drying for it to be. It feels much more like a natural or more matte finish bullet lipstick. This color, once it's fully on, is nice. It's just, for me, and more depth and dimension, I would really like to go in with a slightly darker brown lip liner. But for today's tutorial, we're gonna stick to what comes in the kit. That lipstick actually looks better than what I thought it would with it. I just truly wish that liner was a little bit darker, but we're gonna skip over that. We're gonna grab us a little bit of gloss. The thing is, because this is a colored gloss, I do not want to risk getting my doe foot dirty. So I'm the type of person who likes to take it, wipe it on the back of my hands. The good thing about it is it does have that hole in the center, so if you want to take this and apply it straight to the lips, it'll pick up extra product with each dip. The bad thing is when you just want to put this on the back of your hand, it seems to hold on to that there. But what I'm about to do is use a disposable wand. As someone who used to freelance, I keep these on deck because I am not a fan of double dipping. If I dip a lip gloss into a tube, put it on the client's face, that is now their lip gloss. So what we're going to do is take this disposable, pick up some product off the back of our hand, and I didn't get too much of any for that, and I just want to put this in the center of the lips first, just to see if that's going to change the color or the texture. Oh yeah, that just gave it some shine. Y'all can see on camera. What I'm loving is that that gold is not taken over, and this doesn't just instantly look like I just kissed a gold statue from the Oscars. It just has a nice warm sheen to the lips, and I put it in the center first just to get that glossiness going. Now we're gonna go in for the DSL and layer it, honey. Spread it out toward the edges, but not the actual corners of the lips. Oh, baby, look at those. It looked like I just got lip fillers that fast, honey. Oh, this gloss is pretty. She's lightweight. Is there a scent to this? Not really. Okay. Alright, well, I think this is all that we have to do for the face. The only thing left to do is set everything, so make sure you grab your sprays, because you know I'm about to grab mine. And you guys know the routine. Fix Plus to give us a glowy deal. all-nighter, so things will last all day. Cheap fan, expensive breeze, good times. I'm gonna give this a few more moments to dry and I'll be back to show you all the final look. And this is the final look. I'm gonna go ahead and give you all a full face view of things before I give you all my final thoughts. And I'm here to tell you all, honey, I really like this palette. First off, let's just get into this color story. I just gotta pick it up and show it to y'all one more time, honey. Look at this. Just looking at the color story alone, I already knew I was gonna like it. All I kept telling myself is, Lord, just let the formula just be half decent. As long as the formula is half decent, I'm gonna love it. And I'm here to tell you it's past half decent. It is beautiful. Just being honest, we got to always be honest. The shimmer formula is still better than the matte formula. For me, I think across the board, every Glamlite palette I have ever tested, I felt that way, and this is no exception. The thing is, for me, these really deep, dark shades here, this whole row here I think we used for the mattes, they seem to be some of the best dark mattes that I've used from Glamlite. Usually with Glamlite and those really deep dark ones, it seems like they barely want to give me any pigmentation and I have to go in and build and build and build to get to the level I want. Now I understand, this isn't Juvia's place. You aren't going to get over the top, full-blown pigmentation with your colorful shades. And honestly, I think that's probably a good thing for many people. I'm someone, I have time, I have talent, I have brushes, and I really like to get the job done as quickly as possible. Give me all the pigment, I'll take my time and buff it out, or I'll pick up another brush, another color or something. But I can understand that most people, when they're going in, they really want to take their time, they want to diffuse their colors, they want a seamless blend. And that's why every time I looked at this, I'm like, Mikayla is extremely talented. Why wouldn't she want to put just even more pigment in these when I know the type of colors that, the type of look she's capable of doing? But then you have to remember, this is being sold to the general public. Everybody doesn't have talent like Mikayla. Many people want to take time, build things up, and have a variety of colors and textures to create a variety of looks. And with that being said, this is now my officially my favorite Glamlite palette because she's beautiful. When I talked about the Glamlite and Mikayla Part 1 palette, you all can check that out. The main issue that I said I had with that was that the mattes were back and forth. Some were extremely good and some were just like, do you even belong in this palette? What's going on? With these, I didn't have that issue. I went in with this shade first and I was looking like, wait, what's going on? Hold on, what is that, 13? That second layer gave me everything I was looking for. Went in with Beauty Kills, she was beautiful. Although I truly did wish that the comments was a little bit deeper. These are both deep dark greens and you can only, layer so many dark colors on top of one another before you don't get any depth and variety. But that's where Mikayla came in and said, you know what? We're gonna also give you that black. So no matter what shade you use in this palette, you'll always be able to deepen things up. And that's what did it for me. The fact that matte black just gave me that extra little so that I can no longer complain about wanting to go even deeper and darker. Because as you can see, I'm comfortable with this look right here. I love jewel tones. I think if you're the type of person who likes bright, colorful spring type colors, get Part 1. If you want the deep dark jewel tones, Part 2 is where it's at, baby. And I am looking at this like, she is pretty. The fact that we was able to pull off this green and we happy with it, it makes me want to go in and use the purples. It makes me want to go in and use those blues. So I cannot wait to get into this. And it's like, Torrence, you didn't even use all of the mattes or all of the shimmers in this palette for the greens, for the purples, anything. So I could go in and do another green smoky eye and have other shades to use. They gave us more than one highlight shade. Can you get into that? Can you say, where do they do that at? and they different tones. You can look at that in the pan and see that they're different tones. So it's like, baby, Mikayla and them, I really do believe, took more time, more energy, and more effort into part 2. And I truly do recommend part 2 over part 1. If someone were to come up to me and ask me, Torrence, do you recommend this palette? I would tell them, yes, I do. I honestly like both. Part 1 is okay, but part 2 to me is phenomenal. I like it way better. For the lashes, they're beautiful, they're pretty, they're here. But I think if you have Ardell Demi Wispies, you know what these are like. The one thing I will give them though, the band on these is probably one of the thinnest bands that I've used. It's an actual band there. You can see it is thick enough to make sure you can get it in place. Many times with the Ardells, I believe it's like this clear light band, so it's not really that strong. It doesn't give you, you know, enough space to put an excessive amount of glue, because baby, with me, I get to sweating, I get to crying. I can't afford to have my lashes going nowhere. So I like that this band is extremely thin, but enough to hold on to the glue. The thing is, I have them, I like them, but I don't see me, you know, racing to the website to get another pair. They're synthetic wispy lashes. They're cute. Nothing bad to talk about. With the lip set, baby, look at the shine, look at the slip. You see, even though I have a gloss on top of this lipstick, it still has not separated. I don't have any patchiness or anything. I can do that. It's not sticky, it's not gloopy, it is beautiful. I truly believe all 3 products from this lip set are beautiful, and unfortunately you can't buy them individually. But if these are any indicators of Glamlite's formula, all 3 of them are beautiful. The only con I could personally have is, for me, this lip liner is not dark enough for this lipstick on my complexion. They are almost nearly identical in color to me. The thing is, with many lipstick liner combos, usually if they have the same name, you want them to be the same color. And I just want to show you all. This is Mikayla. She has a much more fair skin tone than me. So this color would appear a little darker. Well, not a little darker. This color would appear a lot darker on her complexion than mine. So this liner would probably be a beautiful liner on her. My lips are darker than the liner, so they didn't do that. But this bullet lipstick, this gloss, you can't tell me nothing about neither one. And honestly, I think all I would have to do, where's my liners right here? I got a bunch of them. I think if I went in with my Juvia's Place liner, I got one right here in Cola. I think Cola would be dark enough. If I went in with Brownie, she would surely be dark enough. So if you have, you know, a favorite brown lip liner, I also like to use Cork by MAC as well as Chestnut. And which ones from the lip bar do I like? My favorites. Maybe I keep me a bunch of lip liners right here. For the lip bar, if you have either the shade, where's my favorite? Straight Up. That's beautiful, as well as Straight Lip. If you got any of those liners, baby, you're gonna be popping with this, but it's just for me. I'm making all this noise, trying not to make a mess. It's just for me, I really, really wish they would have had a slightly darker liner, but even without that darker liner, I believe it's worth the money. That formula is beautiful. And I keep telling myself, like, Torrence, you're not gonna use that liner, so more than likely I will give that to someone else who has a lighter complexion than me. A liner can be sharpened, sanitized, and given away. But these two here, y'all can't have them. And truth be told, just because it's a set, I want to keep that liner, but I've been trying to tell myself, Torrence, we are no longer just holding on to makeup just to hold on to it. The fact that, y'all can't see it right here. I got this sitting right here in front of me with all of these extra liners in it, honey. And those are just the ones I use on a regular basis. I'm like, Torrence, you don't need an extra liner in your collection just to say you got one. But I done already put that Mikayla one in there with it. So we're going to pull her out. But I'm sitting down looking at everything like, Torrence, I like the lashes, but I wouldn't recommend buying them because, like I said, you could get something like that cheaper at the drugstore. This lipstick set, if you want it, I say get it. It is truly worth the money. The lighter your complexion is, I think the more use you'll get out of the lip liner. So if you're darker than me, I would just skip the liner altogether and just give it to someone else. But the other two, get it. The palette, absolutely. Baby, I'm gonna be playing with this for months. The packaging is beautiful. The color story is beautiful. The fact that we got all these greens, we got all these purples, and the thing is, honey, I didn't even touch that bottom row of blues. We didn't use none of these shades except that black. So imagine next time me going in and doing a purple and blue look. Y'all know how cute that's gonna be. So I'm gonna just go ahead and put this down because baby, we could talk all night, but it is late. It is late. I got to go to bed, honey. I got to wake up tomorrow and edit this for you all because I have to make sure you all see this. If you all want to see another tutorial using this palette, please just leave me a comment down below letting me know that. If you all would like to see another tutorial by Glamlite, make sure you check out my haul video. I'll make sure I leave that right here. I don't think it has all of my videos. I don't believe it has all of my palettes from Glamlite, but if you want to see a tutorial from Glamlite, just make sure you leave a comment down below. And if I have that palette, I'll try to get that out there for you. We have to make sure next time we wear makeup, these Fit Me powders have to be tested out again because baby, I'm looking good on camera. She cleaned up after we sprayed and set everything, but I ain't never seen my under eyes crease like that. So next time we will be doing that fresh, first thing in the morning, right after moisturized skin, so we'll know if that was my mistake or the powders. But time to go to bed, honey. I'm about to go snatch all of this makeup off. I know she pretty, but I'm about to literally take pictures, hop into bed. So with nothing else, I hope you all remember to practice, continue to stay blessed, and until next time, goodbye, YouTube.